Hello and welcome to our yoga class. I'm here to support you for the rest of your practice. We'll begin class as usual, laying down on the mat. This is an opportunity for you to ground in a restorative way before the more active portions of class. So make your way to lay on your back, noticing the point where your body meets your mat, the back of the head all the way down to the heels. Make any adjustments to feel more comfortable. Bring your attention to all the points where your body meets the mat, from the back of the head all the way down to the heels. You're shifting your attention to your body, creating some more space between you and your thoughts, creating an opportunity to immerse yourself in your body and cultivate that inner sense of stillness and spaciousness as we explore the poses and as we anchor ourselves with our breath. You're inhaling here and exhaling. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, you can sigh it out. Soften neck and shoulders, down the length of your spine to your heels and your toes. So notice here that it takes practice to soften the body, to relax the body, and to be in a space of being. Now, there's nothing wrong with being active, energetic, moving. This is definitely an aspect of ourselves we can cultivate, but we tend to overemphasize that aspect culturally. We tend to not emphasize slowing down, moving slowly. And so we're taking an opportunity to sense into our bodies now. Taking a generous inhale and exhale, softening and relaxing the body, noticing if there's any resistances and relaxing a little bit further. Or notice if it is very accessible to you as well. There's a range. Sometimes our yoga practice is more accessible, sometimes it's less accessible. It's harder to immerse ourselves in. Continue taking generous breaths, perhaps lengthening the length of your inhale and exhale a little longer than you're accustomed to. That's going to support you in concentration and arriving to this present moment. Your ribcage and belly expands. Inhale, exhale, sigh out. Release tension from, goodness, a year ago, a month ago, a week ago, earlier today. Inhale, exhale, release. We're building the bridge of our physical, mental, emotional bodies. And we do so just by being intentional, inhaling, exhaling, deepening those connections of our physical, mental, emotional body, all informing each other for our physical and mental and emotional well-being. We'll start to invite a full body stretch, lifting our arms up overhead, perhaps pointing your toes. You can lift your abdomen up towards the ceiling. See what is available to you right now. You want to gently wake up anywhere from the base of your spine, between your shoulder blades, arms, palms, heels, toes. And then release that full body stretch. Bend your right knee, lengthen your right leg up towards the ceiling. Interlace your fingers right behind that knee or thigh. You can rotate your ankle clockwise or counterclockwise. Take a moment here to pay attention to the balls of your feet, your toes, ankles, heels. These are areas we tend not to focus on. Yet it's critical to take care of our feet. And then after a few rounds there, you can release that rotation on your ankle. You can focus a little bit more on your hamstrings by lengthening your leg, bringing your thigh closer towards your belly. Notice your boundary. Breathe into your boundary. See how can you fold just a little bit more. It can be subtle. If you want to shift that stretch into hips and glutes, you can drop your leg towards the left and towards the right, either keeping a sway or holding one position. To the best of your ability, neck and shoulders are relaxed. Inhale. Exhale. Start to bend your right knee. Grab your knee with your hands. Round your spine. Forehead towards your knee. Chin towards chest. Hold. And then drop your head back. 2 more rounds. And then after those rounds, release opposite side. Bend your left knee, lengthen your leg up towards the ceiling, interlace your fingers right behind that left thigh. Let's rotate that left foot, that left ankle. Pay attention to your toes, balls of your foot, the heel. And then after you've had a few moments there, you can start to focus on your hamstrings. Bring your thigh closer towards your belly. Lengthen your leg. Breathe into your hamstring. Notice your boundary remaining here or swaying your leg towards the left and towards the right. Just shift that stretch into hips and glutes. You're still working on your hamstrings. Either keeping a sway or holding one position. Inhale. Exhale. Start to bend your left knee. Grab your knee with your hands. Lift your forehead up towards your knee. Drop your head back 2 more times. And then after that round, bend both knees, both feet float off the floor. You're going to grab your knees with your hands and rock to the left and to the right. You're going to massage around the lower back or the tailbone. And then round your spine, forehead towards your knees, round your spine. So you're tucking your chin towards your chest. I'm going to get that stretch in the upper back and neck. Drop your head back 2 more times. And then after those 3 rounds, release. We're going to ground our palms onto the mat, lengthen our legs out in front, flex our feet, lengthen our spine. We lengthen our spine by activating our core, lifting our chest, softening our shoulders. Chin is neutral. Our feet are flexed, pressed towards the front. You can have a tiny little micro bend to your knees. Lead through your chest, your belly as you fold. So you're drawing your belly closer towards the mat, activating that stretch all the way down the length of your legs. Hands can reach anywhere, thighs, shins, or toes. Five more breaths. Allow yourself to deepen into the stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Release. Press both soles of the feet together. Drop your chest towards the floor. 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Notice your boundary. Breathe into your boundary. At any point here, inhaling and exhaling, sighing it out. We'll start to release here. Shift into a forward fold. Please make sure you're softening your neck and head. You're not craning your head up. Breathe into the backs of your legs. You can let your arms dangle or cup your elbows with your hands. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Feet or hips with distance apart. Belly can rest on your thighs. Neck is long. And after those 3 breaths, you're going to slowly roll up to standing. Head comes up lax. Apply pressure to your heels as you lengthen your spine. We're going to take our hands right in front of our heart center. Your eyes can be opened or you can close your eyes here. Taking a moment to ground through your breath. Once again, re-engaging with that inner spaciousness and inner stillness you're cultivating. We cultivate that to support our mental and emotional well-being. You can inhale here. Exhale, sigh it out. Inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. Release your hands. Inhale, arms lift. Palms up towards the ceiling. Lift your heels halfway and hold. Keep your gaze steady. Inhale. Exhale, you're gonna release your heels, dive all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release 2 more times. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, 3rd time. And then after that 3rd time, slowly roll up to standing. So you want to be intentional about rolling up slowly. We give ourselves the experience of physically slowing down, and that is a practice. As we physically slow down our movements, it's one way of slowing down those mental thought streams. And again, we're not trying to delete our thoughts. You're not doing yoga incorrectly if you have a busy mind. That's not the point. You're just creating some more space between you and your thoughts, cultivating body awareness, shifting your attention to this present moment. Release your hands. This time, interlace your fingers behind you. And so as you interlace your fingers, you're drawing your shoulder blades together, lengthening your elbows. Now your palms can either touch or not. Chest is open. You can have a little gentle lift of your chin. Hold. And then leading down with your chest and heart, forward fold, but we're keeping our arms lengthened out behind us. It's the same moment here. Pay attention to your shoulder blades, drawing them closer together. Neck is soft. Now release your hands, create your rhythm, 3 rounds. Inhale, halfway up. Totally dropping and releasing the head as you release. Inhale, halfway up. 3rd round, inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release, roll up to standing. Taking your time here, arms dangle, head comes up last. You can shift either into mountain pose, hands framing your hips, or mountain pose, hands in front of your heart center. Take a moment to collect your breath. I recommend inhaling here, exhaling, sighing out. And now release your hands. Now for a pose of strength and stability, we'll shift into our warrior 2, taking our right foot forward and then stepping our left leg back. So that left foot is in a diagonal, 90-degree bend to that right knee. Our hips are open. You're gonna bring your arms out to a T and take your gaze over your right hand. Now we're gonna remain here a few breaths. Ground through your heels, make any adjustments. Keep it bent to that right knee. It's easy to forget about that knee. Keep your gaze steady. A steady gaze is a steady mind. That's one of our practices in our class. Shoulders are relaxed, chest is open. You want to imagine a line of energy radiating from one fingertip to the opposite fingertip. And now release that left hand right behind your thigh. Lift your right arm up. There's a side body stretch here. You're opening throughout the lower back as well. Back to warrior 2. Inhale. Exhale. Release that right elbow right on top of your thigh. Lift your left arm up. Just take a breath here. Now you can keep that elbow, that arm right on top of your thigh, or you can release your hand down to your shin or all the way down to the floor, lengthening that right leg. Lengthen that left arm up towards the ceiling. You can take your gaze up. Notice that breath that begins at the belly. Deep belly breath. And then exhale, release both hands, frame that right foot, soften your neck, your head. Breathe into your right hamstring, right hip. And then start to inch your hands forward. Standing splits, ground through that right heel. Lift your left leg. Hands are directly beneath your shoulders. Neck is soft. Belly drops towards your thigh. Left foot meets that right foot. Inhale, halfway up once. Exhale, release. Let's sweep our arms up overhead. Lifting our arms up. And grounding our hands right in front of our heart center. Both hands pressing against each other. Generous breath. Inhale. Exhale. Release. Let's lift our arms up overhead. Two-legged balance. Palms up towards the ceiling. Lift your heels halfway or all the way up. Keep your gaze steady. And then after a breath, release your heels, release your hands, dive down, forward fold, 3 rounds. Inhale, halfway up, breathe into the backs of your legs. Keep your spine long, shoulders roll back. And then after this 3rd round, your choice, you can roll up slowly or sweep your arms up overhead. It's more energetic when we lift our arms up overhead. If you want to balance by slowing down, you can do that by slowly rolling up. Release your hands, interlace your fingers behind you. Bring your shoulder blades closer together. Open your chest, lift your gaze. And then bend your knees, fold down, forward fold. Stitch those shoulder blades closer together. Soften your neck, your head. 3 rounds, hands to shins. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. 2nd round, inhale, halfway up. Exhale, release. 3rd round. And then after that 3rd round, once again, your choice, roll up slowly or sweep your arms up overhead. You're grounding through your heels, lengthening your spine. Gather that energy of the day, integrate it down to your heart center. Inhale here, exhale, sigh it out. Release your hands. Now warrior 2, opposite side. Left foot steps forward, right leg steps back, right foot in a diagonal, 90-degree bend to that left knee. Hips are open, arms to a T. You're taking your gaze over that left hand. Chest is open. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And release that right hand behind your thigh. Lift your left arm up. Side body stretch. You're also stretching and opening throughout the lower back. Back to center. 1 breath. Warrior 2. Now drop your elbow right on top of that thigh. Lift that right arm up. You can remain here or lengthen that left knee. Drop your hand to shin or floor. Take your gaze up towards the ceiling. Lift that right arm up. And now release. Both hands frame that left foot. Soften neck and head. Breathe into your left hip, left glute, left hamstring. Inhale here. And then start to inch your hands forward. Lift that right leg as high as you can. Standing splits, hands are directly beneath your shoulders. Soften neck and head. And then right foot meets that left foot. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale,
Release, softening neck and head. Ground your palms directly beneath your shoulders. Step back. Plank pose. Release down towards the floor.
Tops of the feet on the mat. Engage your glutes. Lift up, downward, upward facing dog. You can use your glutes to support you.
And then curl your toes. Downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale. Lift your right leg. Bend your knees. Stack your hips. And then right foot meets, or right knee shifts towards that right elbow. Hover. And then lift your leg. Bend your knees. Stack your hips. Release your foot back down towards the floor. Generous breath. Remain here in your downward facing dog. And now opposite side. Lift your left leg. Bend your knees. Stack your hips. Left knee now towards that left elbow. Hover. You're pressing through your palms. Generous breath. Your body is active. Lift your leg. Bend your knees. Stack your hips. Release your foot back down towards the floor, and then drop your knees onto the mat. We'll shift into a child's pose. Gather your breath. If you need some more support, concentrating, lengthen the length of your inhale and exhale just a little bit. Inhale and exhale. Continuously building the bridge of our physical, mental, emotional bodies. 3 more breaths in your child's pose. And then after those 3 breaths in your child's pose, start to ground your hands onto the mat. Palms directly beneath your shoulders. Knees, hips width distance apart. Make those adjustments. Inhale up into your cow pose. Lifting your tailbone, opening your chest, and then exhale, tuck your tailbone in, chin towards chest, press through your palms, cat pose. Move at your own pace, inhaling up, and exhaling cat pose. Now, if you want to maintain that flow, just sync up your breath, inhaling cow, exhaling cat, but you also have the option of exploring a cat or cow pose for an extra breath cycle or 2. It's all right to exhale in a cow pose or inhale in a cat pose. A few rounds here, protecting our spine, releasing any compression in the lower back, mid-back, opening throughout the upper back, upper spine. One more round wherever you're at. Inhaling cow. Exhaling cat. We'll start to shift back into a neutral position. We're going to press that left palm on the mat. Lift our right arm up towards the ceiling. And then our needle pose, drop that right shoulder onto the mat. Lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. Or you can rest that hand on your lower back or hip. And now release. Hand back onto the mat. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale. Now opposite side, you're pressing that right palm onto the floor. Lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. And then drop your left shoulder right onto the mat. Lift your right arm up towards the ceiling or rest it on your lower back. Inhale. And exhale. Release your hand. We'll go ahead and shift into a cross-legged position. In that cross-legged position, your sit bones are grounded on the floor. Those are the bones near your glutes. You're activating your core, and just by activating your core, you open up your chest, you should relax your shoulders. Chin is neutral. We lengthen our spine naturally just by that active core, open chest. We don't want to overthink it where we're in an uncomfortable, unnatural way, lifting the chest and activating the core and creating a rounding in the back or an arch in the spine that we don't need. Just a gentle activation. Notice any tension in neck and shoulder. Those are areas where that's where we tend to crunch over. And then start to lift your chin up towards the ceiling. Open up the throat. And then release. Look over your right shoulder. Left shoulder. And now drop your chin towards your chest. Hang here. Notice that stretch in the upper back by doing so. And now roll your head from one shoulder to the next in a half circle or full circle. A few more rounds here. If you prefer to work on meditation, bring your head back to a neutral position. Otherwise, a few more breaths here. We tend to store a lot of tension and soreness in neck and shoulders, upper back. So take a few moments here. And then about 2 or 3 more breaths here. Start to bring your head back to a neutral position. Steady breath. Let's inhale here, exhale, side out. And then start to prepare ourselves to lay on the floor. We're gonna lengthen our legs out in front. Activate our core by lifting our palms up towards the ceiling, slowly releasing chin towards chest. You're gonna find that point to hover and hold. And then drop your heels, drop your head back. And gather your breath. Inhale here, exhale. Side out. Bend your knees, feet float off the floor. You're gonna drop your knees towards the right, bring your arms out to a T, and then drop your head towards the left. You're shifting into this twist, knees towards the right, knees bent. Drop your head towards the left, arms to a T. Scan neck down the spine to your hips. Imagine your knees falling further towards the floor. You really want to practice softening the body. Now, as you scan your body, you'll notice there's areas where you're holding up your body in a way that you do not need to. Here, you purposely soften and relax. Do your best. And what I like to invite is like that metaphor, that example of softening just 10% further. Just to exemplify, it's just a small little bit. It's just seeing where can I deepen and soften just a little bit more. And that's normally where we don't take ourselves. Usually we come into a twist and we just lay there, but there's always another layer. There's a deeper layer of softening and relaxing. And that is part of what we're cultivating. This helps inform that stillness and spaciousness and presence and that present moment awareness that we've been cultivating throughout the class. And this is all related to our mental, emotional well-being and physical well-being. And then knees will come back to center. Drop your knees towards the left, drop your head towards the right. It's essential that your head and your knees are facing opposite directions to invite the full benefit of this twist. Arms remain at a T. Once again, you scan here. Notice where you're unconsciously, subconsciously holding up your body in a way you do not need to. And see how can you soften further on to the mat. Notice that you're totally supported by the ground. Notice there's always another layer where we can soften a little bit further into, relax further into.
Invite a breath here. Slowly bring your knees back to center and start to lengthen your legs. We're preparing for our last resting pose. Palms face up towards the ceiling, legs are long, eyes are closed. We've already prepared the body, softening it. In Shavasana, we invite that integration of our yoga practice, receiving, letting go. We continue to build that bridge of our physical, mental, emotional bodies. Your breath can go back to its natural rhythm. You do have the option of practicing deep intentional breaths. So as we deepen into our Shavasana, let's together take one inhale, exhale, side out. Big generous breath, belly expands. Exhale, side out. Know that you can invite that breath anytime throughout the day and week to support you. From here, choose what type of breath you prefer. The only thing to really be purposeful about here is to soften your body, reacquaint yourself with the wisdom of slowing down and doing nothing. Soften your forehead and jaw, neck and shoulders, down the length of your arms to your wrists, palms, and fingertips. Soften and release the upper back, mid back, and lower back. Down the length of your legs, from your hips, behind your knees, down to your ankles and toes. Observing thoughts and sensations, just noticing.
And then we'll start to shift our attention back to our breath. Inhaling and exhaling. A generous and leisurely breath. Restore some movement to your fingertips and your toes. You can invite a full body stretch or turn your body to one side, allowing it to remain heavy and relaxed. Once again, return to a generous and a leisurely breath. Inhale. Exhale. After another breath or two. Start to make your way up to your seat. It could be a cross-legged position or any seat that supports you right now. Make any adjustments to find a comfortable seat. We'll take a moment to notice that inner stillness and spaciousness you've cultivated throughout the class. Then take a moment to acknowledge that as we work in our physical, mental, emotional bodies, we're much more able to help and serve others when we practice self-care. So on that note, let's seal the class with an intentional breath. Let's take our hands in front of our heart center. Inhale here and exhale. And in the tradition of yoga, the highest in me sees the highest in you. May we walk with each other in gratitude.